Let's talk about self-sabotage, shall we? I've been doing a challenge for women that just wanted to get sober for the month and maybe even going forward. And I have seen a lot of self-sabotage this month, a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of resistance. So I wanted to touch on it today and see if maybe this helps you. I know that I used to self-sabotage myself as well, always getting in my own way. I think that might be something women do in general. I don't want to generalize us, but I feel like we are either giving ourselves negative self-talk or just creating obstacles that get in the way of us achieving our goals. And I think sometimes it has to do with perfectionism or with resistance or procrastination, fear of failure, stress, burnout, low self-esteem. There is a difference between procrastination, which usually just means I don't want to do it. I don't have the motivation to do it. I don't have the inspiration to do it. And then there's resistance, which means something is off. What is off? Resistance usually means there's something like fear of failure, or low self-esteem or negative self-talk that you've been telling yourself, hey, I've tried to quit drinking. I'm not going to be able to quit drinking. I've done this before. Or perfectionism. That's something that keeps coming up as well. You want it to be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look perfect or feel perfect. It's not going to be as easy as we like. We're high achievers. We get the job done. But when it comes to quitting drinking, there are some things that stand in the way. And I want us to stop self-sabotaging ourselves. It can be subconscious. It could be conscious behavior. It could be subtle, or sometimes it's a really, really bad habit that keeps getting in the way of you getting the life that you want. Self-sabotaging behaviors are usually us trying to protect ourselves, but we end up hurting ourselves. For instance, and I've done this before and it makes me sick. Like you've been working out, and it's been so long since you've been to the gym, and you're proud of yourself, and it's been 4 days, and you've gone every day, and you stop on the way home because you deserve it and get yourself a shake or a McDouble with fries and an apple pie because you deserve it. And we break the momentum, and that is self-sabotaging. It happens a lot when people quit drinking for 2 weeks or 30 days. They drink as a reward. Well, I made it 30 days. Here we go. I can drink now. Self-sabotaging. Or they'll use something as an excuse like, oh, my dog died. I'm going to drink again. That's using excuses and self-sabotage. And usually it stems from resistance, which usually stems from fear. You could also be wasting your years away dating people that are wrong for you. You're afraid of meeting the right one, or you're afraid of not meeting the right one. So when you're meeting resistance with something that you're trying to accomplish, such as quitting drinking, maybe stop and take a look at it and see what it is. See if this is from fear. See if this is from negative self-talk. Find out exactly what it is, and that way we can stop it. Some of the ways that I have found to stop the self-sabotage is to stop and think and actually identify the thoughts, the behaviors, and the patterns that are causing this. I know that sounds like something we don't want to do. It doesn't sound like a good time, but it actually can be done pretty quickly if you sit down and think. And I'm going to give you an example. And it's not going to be my drinking example necessarily. This is going to be the example of my self-sabotage when it came to me starting a new hobby, which was going to be jump rope. I don't know if you heard the podcast. I was so excited for the new year. I got a new jump rope, and I was just, this is it. I watched this girl on TikTok, and she's amazing. And I saw her whole life change from jumping rope. She went from just kind of out of shape and just kind of sad and not living her best life to jumping rope. And now she teaches it, and she's just this motivational person. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I need in my life. But I self-sabotaged myself. You know how? Well, it started, I think, with the purchase of the jump rope. Instead of getting the nice one that I would have valued, that I would have really been excited about, I bought the cheap one. I saw one on sale for like $4 at Kohl's in the clearance section, and it's a piece of crap. It's garbage. So that was the first step. I didn't invest in myself. I didn't trust myself enough that I would follow through, that I would buy the $40 one or the $70 one. I forgot how much it was, from this other girl who was the one who's jump roping. She, of course, has her own jump rope. So I think right off the bat, because I didn't trust myself. I was like, let me just start with the cheap one. I probably should have started with the bigger price one. So I'm going to write that down. What did I do right off the bat to self-sabotage myself? And then number 2, you want to change and reframe the thoughts that you have about yourself and about your abilities. So I know that I was thinking, I have no business jumping around with this jump rope. Like, what a waste of time. How ridiculous is this? I'm 40 plus years old. Why? I don't need to be jump roping. So that's negative self-talk, negative beliefs that kept me from even taking my first jump. I don't even think I did 1 or 2 or 5 jumps on with that cheap piece of jump rope. So right there, I need to reframe the negative thoughts and say, no, I do want to be playful. I want to show my son a good example of his mommy working out and getting fit and starting something new and following through. So we got to reframe the negative thoughts. So if your behavior is you keep drinking, you can't make it past 2 weeks, what causes the self-sabotage? Is it fear? Is it perfectionism? Fear of failure? What is that? And then you want to reframe that to say, no, I can live my life without alcohol and be happy. I can actually make this happen. I've seen others do it. You have proof that other women have done it. So you can do it too. Everywhere you look, success leaves clues. Just like me with this jump rope girl. She can do it. I can do it. But I've now blocked myself in several different ways. And you might be doing the same thing. And then create a plan of action that includes small, bite-sized steps towards your goals. So if you want to quit drinking, you would make little steps. Like, what are you going to do to get towards your goal? Are you going to join a group? Are you going to start following sober hashtags? Are you going to start listening to sober podcasts? What can you do every day that's going to lead you towards your goal? For my jump roping, I think this would be setting a timer every day at whatever time, maybe as soon as Maverick gets home from school, and for 3 minutes to jump rope. That's my timer. That's when I jump rope. Or this just occurred to me, take my jump rope down to the bus stop and jump rope on the way to pick him up. He's too little to be embarrassed by me yet, so I could do that. I walk and pick him up every day at the bus and walk back every day. I'm already out there. I'm already ready to walk. That is a small, manageable step that I can take towards my goal of jumping rope. And then hold yourself accountable. This one is important. If you don't tell anybody, if you're not keeping track, if you're not keeping a little journal, or you have a group that you're doing this with, it's going to be hard. Who cares if no one's going to know that you're failing except you, right? And if no one knows that you're not, it's just better to have accountability always. They say the success rate of people that are in an accountability group is always like 83% more success rate than if you're just trying to go it alone. And that's for everything. And I bet you that girl has a group. I bet you the jump rope girl on TikTok has a group. So I need to find it because it'll be in my face. I'll be like, oh yeah, that looks fun. I mean, it looks so fun. So I really want to do it. And I know that you probably want to quit drinking because you know it looks fun. You know you need it. You know your health will get better. But you just need to hold yourself accountable and be held accountable and track your progress and track the actions that you take every day. Just like on your watch, when you're walking every day, you want to track your steps. This is the same thing. And then you can always seek professional help, like coaching, like therapy. We have to get to the bottom of what is actually the pattern that's causing you to self-sabotage. Then we have to learn to manage our stress and our emotions in a healthy way and surround ourselves with supportive people who encourage you. So I only told you guys one way through a podcast. I'm like, I'm going to start jump roping. I have had no one to keep me accountable. No one's asked me how I'm doing with it because I haven't really announced it. I don't have a friend that I've told. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell my kid. No one knows that I'm trying this new thing. And so here it is, the 3rd week of January, and I haven't even touched the thing. So remember to be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Change takes time. So I'm talking to myself too. Little changes take time. Jumping up and down, is not something I'm familiar with or used to. I don't do CrossFit. I don't do any kind of that kind of thing. So jumping up and down might feel weird, but I'm going to give myself some grace and be patient and give myself the time and, take it one day at a time, as they say. So if you are a perfectionist, this could also lead to procrastination. This could lead to resistance because you want it to be perfect and you don't want to make a mistake. And this can lead to missed opportunities. So try and remember that life is messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's better if it's messy. Learning all these new ways to help yourself are super important for your well-being and your personal development, your self-compassion. Growth. I am excited to hear from you. I want to know what has been holding you back from your dreams. Have you been thinking about going back to school? Have you been thinking about quitting drinking? Have you been thinking about leaving a relationship maybe, or buying a new home, or getting some chickens? What have you been thinking about doing, and in my case, jumping rope, that you have been sabotaging? What about getting another job? Have you been avoiding opportunities, avoiding growing to your full potential? I want to know what's been holding you back, what you've been thinking about doing, and I would like to help. I want to change the trajectory. I want to help you change that. If it has been quitting drinking, if you've been thinking about that, I really like to encourage you to take a look at Break Up with Booze. It is so transformative. It's going to change beliefs in just 4 days. It's going to help you break down the walls of resistance. It's amazing. I would love for you to check it out. This can be for anything from changing your beliefs about eating. This can be about an actual breakup with a boyfriend. This can be about visualizing your new life. This can be about anything. It does not have to be about booze. It's all kind of the same. We're going to do so much work on our beliefs, on our mindset, visualization, talking to our inner child, getting realigned with who it is we want to be, and setting ourselves up for success. So don't think this has to be just to quit drinking, because this is pretty much going to encompass any of the goals that you want for yourself coming up. You can go to breakup.vibewithstephanie.com, and I will see you inside that group, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.